Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the Back of the Bus session.
Hello and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Back of the Bus Sessions podcast. Today I've got a fantastic talent on the back of the bus with me, but your name is a bit too much like I said, Loyal Kana, but it's Lewis Canna.
That's right, yeah.
Yes! Yeah!
Loyal Kana, Lewis Capaldi, there's all the ones that get mixed in.
Have you been confused with all these?
Not to my knowledge, but we'll see one day maybe.
And also looks, I've decided you look very much like the guy out of One Direction. How many times have you had that?
I've had a fair few, yeah. Well, now I've got blonde hair, I probably won't get it as much.
It's the eyes, man, it's definitely the eyes.
Maybe I don't
Captivating. They've caught me. Now, brother, how are you holding up in this weird, let's go not weird and wonderful, just more weird time?
Honestly, not too bad. Yeah,
You're keeping alright with it?
Yeah, just going with the flow. Like I say, I was talking before, and it was just use the first lockdown as just a break, and rather than thinking, oh God, I should be doing some work, or I've got all this free time, I should be writing loads, and it's very rare in your mid-20s that you get a year off to just think.
I mean, did you feel inside that you needed a break? Was there something there about you that thought, do you know what, Lewis?
Not necessarily, no. I just thought, we just got all this time off, and you can't go to the pub, you can't work. Pub came first though, didn't it? you can't do anything.
So British.
You can't go out, and just the only thing to do is just sort of sit inside and sort of mull things over.
So you had in your heart relaxing. What about writing and creativity? Did you see that as an opportunity?
Definitely saw it at the start as oh God, I've got all this time, and fortunately my parents' house has got a little studio there, so I can just go in and do loads, and I didn't feel inspired or creative at all. I just thought, rather than force it, let's just take this time and have some time off and just...
Have you ever sat there writing and everything just comes out as utter shite and sort of contrived? Have you done that before?
Yeah. If that especially if I'm writing by myself, if it just comes out and I don't enjoy it immediately, I just stop. I just stop and do something else. Yeah, I've had it before where I've just been, before COVID, and just been writing. I thought that it's just not happening today.
Yeah.
Right, back in the car, go home, walk to the pub.
And where would you then find your inspiration from? Was it pub tales, being out there, living life a little bit, and then coming back with something to actually document?
I just wait for that like one melody or one lyric to come to me. I don't really go out and look for it as such. It
really is just as simple as a lyric or something, even a word sometimes. Yeah. I've had it in my head. I remember this, I wrote a song called You've Got This, which was basically the message all the way through. But I had a friend coming over all the time. She's a lovely friend, but do you ever have a friend that just complains every time they meet you?
I think I'm that guy.
Well, she was really, again, still a close friend, but it was just always quite negative. When she come over, it was of a painful experience, breakup and X, Y and Z. And I'd just sit there and let her sort of talk at me and just go and shoot. But then she did give me a line in her talkings where I thought, wait, shut up. What did you just say? And it was, I've looked in every book in every library shelf. She said it that quick.
Oh, nice.
And it went in such a melody of, I look in every book in every library shelf.
Yeah.
And I took that one line, went away with it, and tried to give her advice through this song, but using her line. So it's like, you know what, you'll be all right, you have got this.
Yeah.
But I made sure I fit that line all the way around the song.
Nice.
And it built a whole thing out of it. So
sometimes it is just that thing, isn't it? The intonation, or like the lyric, or the word, or the melody, and
feeling you get from it.
It's nice to have just, you never know when it's going to happen. Like you could say something now, be like, can we just pause and...
Yeah. Hang on a minute. That's the beauty with technology, isn't it? You got your notes and stuff.
That's it.
I mean, this is take 2 of the podcast, because Knobhead Mikey forgot to press play, but we also went into podcasts, and you say you're quite an avid listener of podcasting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, can you give a few of what you're listening to at the minute?
Yeah, there's plenty. So there's Jack Mate's podcast, there's the True Geordie podcast, which is, I've listened to that loads back in the day, but it's not...
What's he sort of dishing out on that, the True Geordie one?
Just like random personalities and characters from every sort of walk of life, but he's not.
Is it somebody from Geordie Shore?
No, it's just some YouTuber. He's this big Geordie lad, and
nice.
he just seems like a cool guy.
I love the Geordie attitude, Geordie mentality.
So cool.
I've got to admit, so me and Chrissy have just had a baby recently.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much, man. It is the best feeling I've ever had in my life. I'm a man now, and I'm loving it. But we've managed in the lockdown to just find a little retreat away. And managed to get away when the rules got loosened. Would you call it?
Yeah.
Now they're being tightened and loosened.
Yeah.
They got loosened, and we found a minute to get away together. So first time without baby, and we just went wild together. Nice little hot tub, nice place to be, and what you should do in a whole 2 days, we did in half an hour, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Great, get the food out, lovely food, drink, having the best time.
Yeah.
But while we're away from baby for a minute, I got into Geordie Shore. That was where I was going.
Really?
So, because we got so drunk, the next day I thought we'd go on a nice beach walk, have a good day out together. But no, I was hungover to everything. So we just watched Geordie Shore for the day. And it was the best, rubbish TV. Have you watched it?
I haven't, but I had a very similar thing at the start of lockdown. We watched Teen Mum UK.
Oh, mate.
And
what's that about?
It's just basically what it's on. It says on the tin. It's teenagers that have kids early, and it's just documenting their stories. Kids. Oh my god, it's such good TV.
Because we had the best of ideas of what we're going to do on this holiday together and all these travels, but pretty much came back with, we're going to watch Geordie Shore now.
Yeah. Well, that's the best though, to come back with a TV series that's got all those seasons.
Oh mate,
that's a gift.
Is it though?
Oh, it's a true gift.
I'm supposed to be trying to create music.
Oh, you need that wind down though. Yeah,
it is a good escapism.
It's brilliant. We watch Modern Family at home.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
we watched it and finished it in a couple of weeks. And then we started it immediately again, and then it finished. And I was like, we can't watch it for the third time. My girlfriend was like, I wouldn't be mad if we watched it again. I was like, yes, that's it.
I do love escapisms, because my head's always so, as you know, busy and trying to make moves, do music, create film or whatever it is. So just being able to truly turn off. But I say I'm doing that when I'm watching these sort of series. I'm actually psychoanalyzing people and trying to work out the breakdown of why they're like that. Why does society enjoy this so much?
Yeah.
I can't watch it normally. I want to know what's going off. But I mean, the best one for me recently was Vikings. Have you seen Vikings?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it. No.
I do. I like to be learning something while I'm watching it, even though it is a bit mythical and there's different Game of Thrones style dragon stuff going in there. There's a lot of factual, real to life history in there, and I thought that's quite cool, so I can do a bit of learning and stuff on top. Do you get that in your podcast listening? Are you going to just escaping podcasts, or do you have horses for courses?
A little bit. I only listen to it when I'm driving, really. So obviously before COVID I drove a lot, whereas now I'm not driving as much, so I've got a massive backlog of the podcasts, so I'm loving it. But it's just nice to be part of a conversation, not have to add anything, and just listen, and these people's stories are on a podcast for a reason. They're just incredible stories. So I just find it really interesting hearing life stories.
It's beautiful to have a friend there for the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I sit and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to do the washing today or go and potter about. And I love music, but actually just hearing the hum of people connecting and coming together and having a conversation. Because I suppose through Corona times, that's what we're lacking so much at the minute. People
100.
Together, being united. Just a little podcast now and then, hearing muttering behind you, it feels like a friend's there.
100%. When I did a session in Nottingham the other week, all COVID safe and everything like that.
Yeah.
And, sorry. And, I felt really awkward, because it's the first time I've met and been around new people for 5 months or so. And I felt like I was just being really strange. I was like, I don't know how to act around people anymore. I was like, I hope I don't come across as a flipping arsehole. I was like, I look like a right arrogant prat right now, but I was like, I don't know how to be a human at the minute. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Mate,
I got a bit more comfortable at the end.
Understand where you're at.
It was a very strange feeling. Yeah.
It doesn't take long, does it? As somebody that gigs, you've done 1,000 gigs now, and we'll get onto that. But goes to so many places, does talks or whatever you do, to be out of it for even a few weeks is so strange. Your brain reverts to an animalistic need and nature for being and longing around people.
That's it. Well, I was gigging like every week, so if even like to go on holiday or something, having a week off was really bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not working that week. Like, how can I? I just didn't make any sense. Like being self-employed, I just wanted to. Obviously, I wanted that holiday, but it was just really strange for me to be like, right, I'm going away, and that took a minute to.
I mean, I suppose for you as well, because being a musician and having it as your full-time living and income, it takes a lot to get to that point. So as soon as you have in your mind, I'm going to release the trigger for even a week, that can be quite an uncomfortable stepping stone to be on, can't it?
Everything can change in such a short amount of time,
especially with nowadays.
Exactly. Like I released a couple of EPs, one EP in 2015 and one in 2016. They've both been taken down, but the shift from how people consume music from 2016 to when I released my debut single in 2019 was insane. Like,
really?
No one's... Well, for me, sales isn't a thing, really. It's more about the streaming side. And I was like, wow. Before I was like pushing everyone, like, please go to the iTunes chart and buy my EP, and like, that'd be really cool. And now it was just really strange to learn.
Did you have physical copies back in the day as well?
I had a couple, but I don't think I actually did anything with them. They must be lying about somewhere. But I was just focused on people having it on their phones, and it's just easier for everyone. Just like click, done. It was just bizarre having to learn how fast it's all changed in 3 years, where no one's really focusing sales. They're all focusing on the streaming, and it's like.
Have you had to totally adapt and change your game then? Yeah,
I'd say so, 100%. Yeah. I think you never really stop. Well, I don't anyway. I don't really stop thinking about how to, just sort of push myself or market myself better. Or
I mean, and especially through COVID world, are you doing a lot of online stuff? Are you playing live and?
I did a few like live sort of festival things like that, and then. That was in the first lockdown, and things opened up a bit and got relaxed, and I actually had a really busy August. I had so many gigs through August,
real?
And that was amazing. I was like, oh god, it's back! Like I'm back to doing it, and I was busier than ever because everyone's like open, like we want music. Like, this is so cool. And then September came and it sort of got quiet a bit. I was like, and then October came and I was getting gigs cancelled left, right, and centre.
Dude,
like, what's going on? And then bang, lockdown again. So it was, it's just, it feels like we're just, about stalling all the time.
Yeah.
Just get used to it now, don't you?
like in a race, isn't it? When you've been doing a marathon, which you've done a half before, but you start running, you're in a stride, and then Stitch starts coming in, and you know exactly what you need to and want to be doing, but you can't really run through it. So it's just like, right, stop here a minute.
That's it.
You're just desperate, and you're seeing everyone pass you, sort of thing. But luckily, we're not seeing that now.
Yeah, everyone's got Stitch.
We've all got Stitch together. What a lovely metaphor. I mean, because you said you took your break for a bit in lockdown, which has been lovely for people, and they've had breathing spaces, but now it does feel a bit, right, we've been left in a long time now. Are you getting to that irritability about you where you think, oh, I could be gigging now, I'm ready for it?
Yeah, but I, at the same time, like, I think loads of people have it loads worse than I do, and I don't really feel like I'm in a position to complain. I'm able to come here and do this, and I'd love to go back to gigging and stuff like that. But again, when the country's ready, like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, let's get gigs back, because I don't want to,
Just being nuanced with it though, there's a grey area in life. We've spoke a lot in terms of there's a black and a white. We either never have gigs again, leave it all until it's proper, or I just want everything back and we should be gigging. What's up? And I love that real, honest, nuanced perspective of balance. And I am ready, but I want it to be the right time, and I want everyone to be comfortable together, and we can start introducing it in proper ways.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lovely attitude. I applaud that kind of thinking. I've looked on my social medias recently, and just people speaking in certainties and assertive thinking of it's either all a con or everyone needs to start doing exactly what we're being told.
Yeah.
I love these conversations where people are open to ideas and new and thoughts.
There's always a way around sort of anything, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, and most of the fun comes from trying to find out that new way. So
We've got to take the rules in, but just be very real in ourselves. Know we're adults, and I would never have a party now. I wouldn't have a party right in this time where it is still up in the air. But I think you can conduct yourself accordingly to, I'm comfortable though having a safe meeting like this is now. We're sat away from each other. We're comfortable in that. And just people have negated or steered away from their what's right for them. Sometimes they don't listen to their adult mind of what they're willing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's important. So I'm ready, I think, to gig again.
I'd love to just have people around to, and
ready.
see my friends and
I took some time out from music and creativity for a little bit. I needed that space, but I realised how you can't really ever leave it, can you?
No.
You have this in your mind, I'm going to put that aside now and live on this part, but because it just speaks to your soul, it's a great way of being cathartic, expressing yourself and your emotions. The moment I tried to just eradicate it, things will build up again, and I start getting irritable. So having a space for me, like a passion like writing, somewhere I can put it, I've realised how important that is to maintain in my life and be there at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I still need it in my life.
Yeah.
Are you finding that with when you had your breather and break away, that you've come back with this is how beautiful it is to write again?
Yeah, it's having a different approach to it now. Obviously, the writing sessions and stuff are all online, so the amount of people I've never met in real life, which is quite bizarre. But it's a new challenge, a new way to do stuff. And it does feel nice, especially with everything that's going on. It's nice to feel a little normal again and go back to work, as it were. So yeah.
I give like lectures sometimes. I've worked in unis before, and don't get me wrong, I love being in schools, in unis, and being around people, but I have done a few on Zoom now. I've really enjoyed them because we're working out and trying to conduct it, but where you can sort of turn people on mute, you're the speaker there, they can raise the hand and you can individually go into breakout rooms and talk to them. I found it's quite creative what you can do with people, and been people in past sessions where they've experienced me there trying to spin all these plates and talk to everybody, and they've seen me online and they've really enjoyed that more so because they've got to speak to me on a one-to-one where they felt they couldn't before. So even as a musician, there is new ways of conducting ourselves now, being clever with technology that can really benefit you.
Yeah, 100%.
This is your living, isn't it? Like, you're a full-time musician.
Yeah.
Can you remember that first gig you got then, where you got paid to be there and you thought, are you sure? This money in my hand now?
I feel really bad. I feel like I don't. I think it might have been a function or something. And my dad took me. I remember, the guy came up and he paid me before.
Okay.
And I was like, obviously I've never really handled money in a self-employed environment before. Yeah, I was like, do you know what I'm going to sound like? So I took the money and I was like, I could just leave. Obviously I'm not gonna, but I was like, there's a lot of trust you put in me.
Yeah.
But I remember it wasn't sort of like oh wow, music's taken over. I can stop doing everything else and now do it. It was, right, I'm doing music and we're going to build it into a living. So I worked at a clothes shop in Retford in town, and I worked there for about just over a year, and it got taken over by a new management, and I wasn't told that my contract wasn't getting renewed. So it got to December 31st and we were doing all the red tagging and stuff like that and putting all the sale items and stuff like that, and 5 minutes before the end of my shift it was like, this is your last day, by the way. I was like, oh right. Brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like,
Dude.
oh, crikey. Okay, so I went home and I told mum and dad, and Dad was like, good, right, focus on your music then.
Oh,
I was like,
wicked.
And
What a cool man to have in your life.
yeah, they've been they've been amazing the whole way through. So just like he set me up self-employed, and he helped me start up a record label so we could release our music like that.
Wow.
And a management company as well, so I could run it all like a thing. And
Dude.
yeah, it was that walk home from work was quite daunting because I didn't know how people were going to take it. I felt really bad. I'd just lost my job. And then the reaction from my dad, it just put me at ease. It was just like, it's fine. It was getting in the way anyway. I was like,
Dude.
wow, this is so cool.
Is your dad a businessman as such?
He's he works in an accountancy firm in Leeds. So
I mean, because why is he so supportive? Did he see it from a young age that this is what you really wanted to do?
we've been I got my first guitar when I was 5, and then I started sort of singing in secret in my bedroom when I was 18. I just turned 18. I had loads of electric guitars, but I didn't have an acoustic, so I bought an acoustic. It arrived on my 18th birthday, and I just started like doing covers and putting them on Facebook, but didn't tell my family or anything like that weren't on Facebook anyway. And I went to a uni interview in Leeds, and my dad came with me. We did the whole thing, and they were like, yeah, cool, yeah, you can come next year on the basis of the grades and whatever. I was like, cool. I went to the bar with my dad after, and I was like, I don't think I'll really want to do this. And he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I just showed him the video, and I was like, I just kind of want to do stuff like this. And I was quite a shy kid growing up until about sixth form, I'd say anyway. And I think he was just sort of like blown away the fact that I've chosen to do something,
what a lovely
one guy on a stage. And he was just like,
lovely moment.
Wicked, and went home, rejected all the uni offers, and just started getting to work. So.
Oh man, I want to go and high five your dad right now.
Yeah.
Cool fella.
Yeah, no, it was a turning point that day, and I'll never forget that.
I mean, when you're a closeted singer and doing it in your way, how are you learning though?
Well, so I could play guitar before. I've always been able to just play electric guitar and guitar in general.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know the names of the chords, so I just went on, just type in the Kooks naive chords, and just copy the chords, and then you just sort of hum the tune, sing the tune, and it was just sort of like this. I mean, I'd hate to see those videos come back up because they must have been dreadful, but people were so supportive on Facebook, and
they're good to look back through though, aren't they? See your stepping stones and journey.
But I took a lot of inspiration from Passenger at the time, because I went to go see Ed Sheeran, and Passenger was the support, and Ed Sheeran was brilliant, obviously, but I was just blown away the fact that Passenger came out. I had no idea who he was, and everyone was screaming, and these songs were really cool, and the finger picking stuff, and I was like, that is ace. So I took on the sort of like nasally squeak that he's got vocally. So to look back on those videos must be
I remember, man, when the reason you're here today, I was just scrolling down and this high-pitched sound came from my phone. I thought, I like that, that's cool. And your vocal range is all over, but beautiful. You can control it perfectly. So
I try to.
I like hearing where your inspirations and ideas have come from, and I can feel that in you now.
Yeah.
It's quite searching how you sing. I'm listening to every word, and you play with them beautifully.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that I really love the fingerpicky stuff on an acoustic guitar. Like, I think it's super. I feel really bad saying this, but like when I was busking, a lot. I used to busk loads.
Awesome. And imagine it now. Picturing it.
And there would be people that just shred, like throw the guitar down, and then some really nice vocals and blast out very loud, and everyone turns around and looks, and I was like, that's really cool, but I'd kind of like people to turn around
through a different feel.
I'd rather finger pick it and make the guitar sound really pretty and put some vocals on it, and if someone turns around and likes it from that, I don't like being in the way. So if I'm busking in the street making a load of noise, if 90% of people love it, I know there's 10% people that just think shut up. I just want it to not be in the way. So it's here, you don't have to listen to it, you can walk past and just ignore it. It's not in your face. So
I like that. It's probably why I steered to you as well, and why that sort of got me, because I'm at my heart very calm, chill. I listen to lo-fi most of the day when it's not podcasting and listening to podcasts, but I just love that gentle attitude around where you're not always at 100%.
Yeah.
You've just got a nice, not even a plateau, but a nice feel throughout your day.
That's
energy about it. And that was what your voice did. It relaxed me straight away. It just made me think, this is a guy where I had a picture straight up. I was laid down on a beach with my partner and our baby doing their thing, and there was this busker or performer sat there, and we've got a cocktail each. That was exactly what was in my mind. So you created that. Thank you for that vision.
Oh, real? Wouldn't mind that right now, to be fair.
I mean, was your journey really, when you were learning, taking on, it was always gentle? It was always, because Passenger has this song, I Like, have you heard it? Is just explaining things you like, or I Hate.
I Hate, yeah. I
Like.
It's a good song.
That's this very different one.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sort of poetry, very, very gentle, just so easy listening, and I could listen to that all day.
Yeah.
Those sort of influences throughout then?
Very early on, it was that, and I grew up like listening to rock music, which then bled into sort of Sum 41 Blink stuff, that sort of like American rock, and then that blended.
I just can't wait.
Yeah, that's it. And then that blended into, I sort of went into like heavy metal. I really loved Bullet for My Valentine, but then I heard their acoustic version of stuff, and I just way preferred that.
Yeah.
And then that bled into. We never really had pop on in the house. It was always just like rock and stuff like that. And then I woke up one morning at about 5 a.m, and I put the music channel on, and it was Tiny Temper, and I was like, this is cool. This sounds ace. I really like the pop stuff, so I went straight into pop. But obviously, there's different sounds coming in and out all the time. But and then that took me down into sort of where I'm going, what I'm doing now.
All of these influences build and create your sound. What about the lyricism then? Is there a different feeling and reason for your lyricism?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, you just
I'm probably still working that out.
Maybe you play your sound, you create that ambience that you like to be in, and with that comes what we spoke about before, just a word or just a sentence that you think, that's kind of coming to this tune, and that gives you your direction.
I think so. I think I like the chords or the finger picking pattern or the stuff in the guitar, and then just sort of match that with how does the guitar sound? Does it sound sad? Does it sound like this? And then just match it with the lyrics and just think of things.
Direction you go.
Yeah, I think so.
I love the 60s. I'm very into sort of Sam Cooke, Otis Redding era.
Oh, right. Okay.
And, I just imagine like Dock of a Bay or Here's a Man Need New Clothes and all that. But that era is all just infused of love, but truthful love for me. They're just getting up, having a good time and boogieing.
Yeah.
And imagine when them instrumentals came on in the production room and in the studio, and they're just thinking, grooving, where does this go? I can imagine why they always keep going towards love, because it just feels so uplifting and beautiful.
Yeah.
That, to me, I've tried to write a bit more to the old 60s instrumentals.
Okay.
Because I want to start... a lot of my writing has been very in-depth, emotional, mentality sort of things coming through, and I'm trying to dissect and decipher my life story. But I want to be diverse as an artist. I want to try lots of different things.
Yeah.
And I've wanted so hard to try and get into that, just lose yourself lyrics and playful working and play on words sort of lyricism.
Yeah.
So I'm gone in that direction at the minute.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I can still picture you on a beach. That's all I'm getting. That Jason Mraz thing. Have you tried? I bet you know. What's that?
I'm Yours.
Well, yeah, that was good. Or Billionaire. He didn't sing that, did he?
Bruno Mars.
I wanna be a billionaire.
Yeah.
So, dude. And was it all when you were first performing without being paid, covers and things? Was that what you were doing?
Yeah. Just busking during the day. Like let's start again. So I first went busking in Doncaster. It's where I went to school. Finished school, went straight there. I think I was on study leave at the time. No amp or anything like that. Just started playing, and that first. Playing the guitar, easier, don't mind doing that, do it in front of anyone, don't care. Singing in front of people was scary. I was like, this is very bizarre. So I've done a few open mics before, but now I'm singing to people who haven't come to listen to music, aren't having a pint.
Right.
This is bizarre. And then just from that, and then once you get the first note out, it's just it just flows out, and then it just got. I just don't want to stop doing this, so I just said yes to everying. I still do, to be fair. I still like do any gig. I just think there's why not? And yes, it was just a case of gig, busk, open mic, whatever. I'm there and I'm doing it. But yeah, the first probably 2 years, I don't think I got paid for a gig.
No, and all covers then at that time.
Yeah, I still do a few covers at the minute as well, just to bounce around the set, and I just chuck mine in and out.
I suppose you've got to sometimes, haven't you, at certain places, because it gets them on board, and they go, oh, he's not only really good, but he's singing songs that we know, so they can come round and get a buzz from that.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you punch him with one of your own. I mean, do you prefer doing your own material?
Well, 100%, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
why is that?
Mainly because if I'm doing just my own material, it's a gig where people are there to listen to music. If I've done functions and stuff before where people are just there to have a good time, and the music is there in the background, and that's fine. I don't mind doing them at all. But if I'm doing that, then there's people who I'm probably supporting someone, or I'm doing my own headline thing, and people have paid money to go and see someone sing some songs that they've done, rather than. I mean, I'll always chuck a cover in. I think I've done covers forever, so every gig I do, I'll always put a cover in. But yeah, I just prefer doing my own stuff most of the time.
That's right, because do you want to get to the point where you're headlining shows and being
100%,
full on stages, and then you have to go the singer-songwriter way, I suppose, do you, to get to that point?
I guess I think there's a route for anyone, isn't there? I just need to find just what works with you, and build everything else around that, and it'll come. Yeah.
But that's your route you want to go down, is be your own entity.
Yeah, it would be really cool to have sort of a band or an extra few musicians on board at some point, but I just find it puts me off a bit too much.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm just with myself and my guitar, I can slow it down if I need to.
Yeah.
I can speed it up, I can stop dead in the middle and start again if I want to.
Yeah.
I love the control and the fact that if I get a phone call saying, oh, can you do a gig tonight at 7 o'clock, I don't have to ring round a band saying, guys, are you free?
Guitar.
It's just I'm there, immediately. So I quite like the independence of just being solo.
Now, you've done 1,000 of these gigs.
Roughly, yeah.
You've been all over doing gig. With gigs comes wonderful, beautiful, esoteric experiences, but also some not so good experiences, and they shape you. Can you reflect on many of the times that have either shaped you from a bad experience, or maybe even made you think, oh, do I really want to do this?
I don't think I've ever had the feeling of, is this really for me? I think any new low is just like, it's only going to get better.
Really? What a lovely attitude that
I think there's no way, and just like, if you've got a bad gig, then whatever, the next one will be better, and if it's not, then cool, the one after will probably be better. It's not going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I had one in Nottingham, actually. I had a gig the day before.
Where?
I can't remember the name of it. I'll have a think, I can't remember. And I had a gig in Lincoln the day before, so I busked in the morning, did the gig in the evening time. My twin brother lived in Lincoln, he was at uni there, so we went out for a night out after that.
Cool.
Went back, didn't get to sleep, went out busking again before I had to go to Nottingham to do this gig. Get to Nottingham, and I'm told there's going to be like around about 80 people. It's not paid, so I was like, whatever, but 80 people, that's cool. Like, I'll happily play to 80 people who want to listen to some live music. I get there, and there's like 2 people there. It's the typical one man and his dog, and it actually was a man and his dog.
No way.
and the bag, and I was like, well, I'm sure people are going to turn up later on, so I'll go on last. But my vocal cords are absolutely shredded at this point. I'm having to detune my guitar so I can actually reach just the bass notes. I can't. Wouldn't dream of going to falsetto. Wouldn't dream of trying to push out a really hard lyric. I was in a bad way, but I was like, I'm at this gig, I'm going to make it as good as possible. Do that. I'm supposed to be staying at a friend's place that night.
Yeah.
Messaging all day, we're all cool. And then I finished the gig, I text them like, cool, whereabouts are you? They lived literally around where the gig was. Whereabouts are you? I'll come meet you now. Just completely aired. No reply.
Oh, no.
Call, ring twice, and then hung up. And I was like, right, I'm getting absolutely aired here. Ghosted completely. It's like, brilliant. Okay.
This was a mate.
Yeah. So
You can say that. Still a mate.
I honestly, I couldn't remember who it is now. So probably no, definitely not. I didn't reply to them ever again. It's like, you've absolutely stiffed me here.
That's not cool.
I went to McDonald's in the train station and I just stayed there. I had my gig bag on my back, my laptop in my guitar case as well, a bunch of clothes as well. I just used it as like a rucksack with the guitar in it. So I had all this stuff and I was like, I'm not sleeping on the street, A, because it's flipping cold, and B, I've got gear on me that if I get robbed, it's going to really hurt.
Oh, matey.
So I did that, and then I found this little shopping centre, and you could charge your phone for free. So I didn't have a phone charger on me, so I was like, bro, put it in there, lock it up. But I didn't trust it, so I just stayed there while it was locked and getting charged. So stayed there, only get half an hour with it as well, so I had to unplug it, plug it back in, so I get a full hour's charge. Back to McDonald's, get a coffee and warm up. Back to thing, charge my phone up, doing circuits of that.
Wow.
I wait for the train station to open at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Get the first train to Lincoln. Get to Lincoln, I've got a gig in the afternoon. So vocal cords are actually straight. I've not slept for.
Could nobody have picked you up or anything?
I didn't even think. I could have literally called my dad and been like, "Can you pick me up from Nottingham?" and he'd have been there in 50 minutes. And I just didn't think. I think it's because I'm like, I know I have to be in Lincoln the next day. So if I fall asleep, I'm not waking up. Yeah. I'm missing that gig. So I was like, best thing I've got to do is just stay awake to do that. Get to this gig. I'm doing a gig in a cafe. I do the gig, but again, my vocal cords are absolutely fucked at this point. They're really bad. Do the gig, and then I think I go and meet my brother for a quick pint in the pub. Get the train home to Retford, and then I just sit on my bed about 6 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm not going to sleep until 9 because I want to actually sleep at a good time rather than wake up at 5 a.m. or something. But yeah, I just collapsed and fell asleep. I was awake for about 60 hours. And did about, I think it was 4 or 5 gigs, and I can't remember all of it. But
that's the best sleep ever, though, isn't it? That is a night.
I didn't move. Do you know those sleeps where you just fall asleep and you actually don't move and you wake up sore from it?
I love it. I remember back in day, Ripley, where you tell your mum and dad that you're sleeping at a mate's, and then they tell their mum and dad they're sleeping at a mate's, and then you all just go out together, and then realise, oh no, at some point we've got to go to someone's house. But we're all at a mate's. So we called it tramping out, I think, back in the day. So we all had to just wait until it was a reasonable hour to go home and say, right, it's about time now. But we'd be doing it in the winter, and we'd just be on the park and
the cold,
absolutely freezing, and you think it's such a good idea until it's 3 a.m. You realise you've got nowhere else to go. You can't go and knock on the door. Sorry, I lied. Got to wait till about 7 or 8 where you're just all shaking, and then you part ways. That's it. But then we do it next week.
Never learn. That's it.
Same with I did quite a bit of travelling after school, and then I remember me and my friend went to Australia for a year.
Oh, wicked.
And we thought, oh, you know what, we can live like kings out here. I had no concept of money and being frugal and looking after it. So we got there, and I took $1,000 with me, maybe a bit more, $1,500, and I was Billy Big Bollocks there. I've got so much money. Going out, drinks all on me tonight, guys.
Oh, mad.
I'm just an idiot. Total idiot. I've learnt from this. But I'd be flaunting it, pulling it out. And there was one day where I went back to the hostel we were staying in, and there was a note saying, oh, can Mikey come speak to us? I got to the hostel reception and they just said, yeah, your card's declined. It's not taking money out. So I thought, oh no. And I only had one more day at that hostel, and then I had to pay for the next week. And I looked at my card, and I just absolutely spunked it all. Gone mad. So I went wild that day of trying to find a job. There's a thing called woofing, if you've heard of it.
I think I've heard
WOOFING, I think it was.
Is it where you find like jobs just for that day?
Yeah, kind of Gumtree and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen some similar things.
And on that day, I got offered a job, but it was in the 3 days after. So I had to have 2 nights of somewhere to stay.
Oh, no.
Luckily we're in Australia, but it was still cold at night.
I bet it gets freezing.
And me and my mate just went and we stayed on the beaches and things and just camped out there.
Mad.
Say camped out, just put like a few coats up and just stayed. I'll never forget. We were like, what are we doing?
No, that's class though. You'll never forget that. You stayed on a beach for 2 nights in Australia.
You love and you live for them moments.
Oh, yeah.
And not anymore do I want to be there. I've got to a good stage in my life where I love my kitchen, I love my bed, my amenities. But when you're 18, 19, you can really go through them times.
100%. Yeah, I've slept on the weirdest things. I mean, I don't think I've ever slept outside, but Jesus, the stuff I've slept on like a normal chair, just like upright like that, and then woken up and just been like, it's so
Start
weird.
again.
Yeah,
just
so
set
weird.
off. I remember this one time we went to Cairns, and there was an esplanade, is it called? You know, on the beach, it's sort of a walking area where you've got the beach that side and then all pull-up bars and things on this side.
Oh, right, yeah.
Beautiful area, Cairns. But they had this problem where Aboriginals, to be fair, they got their land taken off of them, you know, but they would come in and they were drunk, these Aboriginals, native Australian people, and they'd have fights and bring weapons and all stuff like that.
Mad.
So we lived in this hostel around that area. And I was one of the reps, so I'd be taking people out every night, getting on parties, free drinks, going mad.
That's ace.
And this one night I just got wasted, absolutely over the top wasted. And I walked back, there's a thing called pie face, and I think I had probably vodka in this hand, eating my pie face, having a drink. And in Australia, I thought, I got emotional sometimes. Let's call back home. Racked up a stupid phone bill while I was there. And I was walking round, and my mum's like, where are you? You're too drunk. I want you to get back now. Let me know you're safe. I was like running and going, I'll see what I can find. And there was one sign, and she says, what does the sign say? I'll see if I can find where you are. And it just said, beware of the alligators. She was like, get away from, where are you? Panicking. Anyway, my phone died, and I woke up with one of the Aboriginal guys, and I was near enough naked in my pants with a pie, just thinking, what happened that night? But all the stories you look back at and just think, I'm glad it happened, but God, if that was happening now, I'd be in a very different place.
Yeah, I know what you
mean.
Yeah, God, that's a class story.
Beware of the alligators. Move, get out of there.
Imagine, Jesus.
Stupid boy's life. Would you like to go travelling with your music? Would you like it to go on that direction and take you all over? Because you were saying before when we met here, you've been Denmark, was it? You saw your friend with the bus?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did some writing out there.
So you're just writing out there, not performing?
No, not performing. I was only there for 3 days.
Wow. But you got a taste of what it's like to be doing music abroad and things?
Yeah.
Is that
100%? I'd love to be able to just go abroad and just see more places and play more music to loads more people.
You've got a very... It's a sound and a voice that people just want to come around, you know what I mean? Wherever you are, even if they don't know the language or the lyrics, you can get immersed in it and just lost in that sort of music. So I can't wait to see you on them beaches in my hammock. You're looking over, we'll be there.
That'll be brilliant, yeah.
Have you collaborated much as an artist? Do you work with others?
In especially last year and the year before, did a fair few. I think some of them are coming out this year. I believe one of them's coming out in the start of March, and then I just find it really cool to just jump on other people's stuff and see if it works. And like that's the beauty of it as well. Like if it works, sick, release it. If it doesn't, alright.
That's it. Yeah.
Like it's really cool. So and I quite like sort of dipping my toe into the sort of different genres and stuff and see if it lands on.
Have you noticed it's helped grow you then as an artist, collaborating and being with different sorts?
I'd say so. Yeah, just sort of when you're writing for guitar or piano, I think you can get sort of stuck in that. And I was just focused on doing that. But when you've got sort of dance beat behind the track, or and it's moving like that, you sort of think, right, this needs to be a bit more, up tempo and upbeat. And I still managed to put some sad lyrics on it.
Yeah.
But
we all go down that path, brother.
I just love sad songs. They're my favourite thing.
That's my best way of writing too. My sadness, when I was saying before, in my happiness and trying to write from that, because I'm in ue, or my state of flow, I'm just comfortable there, but I'm not overthinking. I'm just in that place, so I don't know how to write about it. Whereas when I'm in pain and I'm suffering, my mind's constantly full of thought and constantly doubt and whatever, so it's so easy to document and write about.
Look, I said the exact same thing.
Well, that's why we're brothers.
Yeah, that's it, man. But that's it. Happiness is just a memory, and it's whereas I feel like the sadness and pain is more of like a stain that just stays there. So it's so easy to just remember how you felt when you stubbed your toe that day, or someone left you, or someone's passed away, or anything like that. It's so easy to remember the shit stuff because it just lingers, whereas the happy ones are they're happy just being a memory, and you can pick them up when you want, whereas the pain just stays. So
that's a beautiful way of seeing it. And you always feel this worry in artists that, come on, I've done 50 something of these now.
Oh, wicked.
And any artist that I've spoke to, their worry is, everything I write's sad though, everything I write's sad. But my feeling is you're giving people an experience, and I love crying sometimes. I love to be made to put a certain direction, and particularly from others' sadness, I'm an empath, and that's where my heart lies, is when they're telling me their journey, their story, their sadness, and they've managed to put it into a beautiful piece of creative art. It's so important, and so we can share from that. So I think artists don't need to be so worried about writing from them places. And
also, like, if you like it, that's all that matters. Like, if you can listen back to it, or you want to listen back to it, I think you've already won. Who cares?
Amen, brother. And there'll always be a space for it, won't there?
Oh yeah.
There's definitely times where dance tracks are on, we just want to get lost in the sound, but in the amount of people that there are listening to that and finding that enjoyable, there's a huge handful of people out there that need being picked up and looked after and told sad stories.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all there, it's all in the ether, all together, and all just as important as one another. So find your thing.
Yeah.
But with the collaboration stuff, you said, I'm the guy, I like to get a phone call, be able to go and pick up my guitar and go. When it does come to collaborations, you not struggle then taking a direction together? And
you know what, I thought I would, because I'd quite like keeping control of everything that I'm doing. I like just doing what I want to be doing. I don't really enjoy being told, especially, clean the dishes, don't mind being told to do that. Get your car serviced or MOT. Those are normal. Tell me what to do, whatever. But when it comes to the sort of music stuff, when someone tells me what to do, I'm like, can you? No one else is involved except me on this, so just leave me to it. I thought I'd struggle with the writing stuff with other people, but I really enjoy it. And
have you worked with a spoken word artist before?
I haven't actually. No, we'll have to jump on something, mate. Definitely.
This is such a selfish platform. This is just for me to find cool people that I can talk to and then eventually collaborate with.
Mate, that's wicked.
Yeah, I do. I really enjoy it, and like yourself, I was reluctant to go into collaborating because, especially with poetry, it's so personal and to your truth and your core. Being with somebody else on that mission and trying to sieve through a message that you want the song to sound good, you want it to be coherent, you both got to sort of pick a path with it. But no, when I went into it, it made me write better, it made me listen to new people's techniques and ideas, and it's such a great thing as an artist to do, even if you do want your profession to be singular and do it on your own, solo artist. Even just to experience what it's like to collaborate and be around others, that's really vital, isn't it?
I think you need to go through lots of people and find the people who you work with best, and maybe, and then you'll have your core base of these are the people that I write best with, I feel, and then you can dip your toe in with everyone. And like I've had it before where I've written with someone and I can clearly tell the lyrics I've written and the lyrics they've written. and I think this still is a good song, or I enjoy listening to it, but it's jarring to my ears because I know who's written what.
Yeah.
I like it to be like, I'd like to just forget about the track and then come back to it in a day and be like, I can't remember which bit I wrote. That's when I feel like I found a brilliant mix, because yeah, it's certain things. I'm the one who's got to have to sing it if it's for me anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to be jarring at certain lyrics and being like, oh, this doesn't really fit. I feel like there's a stronger line there and we didn't work on that, and that winds me. So yeah, I think it's just, and getting that confidence to be like, doesn't really fit that. I don't like you any less. I think you're a great person still, but I just think maybe this isn't right. So.
And do you find you can be that honest with your art? You feel comfortable
100%,
because you want the best thing to come out of it. So
100%, yeah. I think if it's not right, then what's the point in forcing it? It's a massive waste of time just to potentially hurt people's feelings even more by you'll go 5 songs deep and I'm going to tell you now that this isn't working.
Why did we never put that track out? Because I hated it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, so some things just don't fit, and you've got to be okay with that.
It's really good for artists, though, from another artist perspective, to have them open, honest conversations and say to them, listen, I don't think this works for me, it doesn't go in that direction, because they'll always take something away from it. Whereas I've done projects before where we've gone down, we've wrote it all, we're all cool, we're saying it's buzzing, but nothing happens from it, and you go, was it cooler, man? You just have this doubt inside yourself thinking, oh, why didn't we go forth with it?
That's it. Like,
I think want honest conversations, don't you?
I think you can have a great time doing something and have something great after, but again, there's certain things as well, so we can't post or release this because of something else that we're doing, and then it gets lost and then potentially outdated or something like that, and there's a lot of pushing and pulling, but I think I go into writing and think I never expect anything I'm doing to get put out, and if it does, cool. Like, I'm happy with that. But I think if I go in and thinking that this is going to be I'm excited to write, it's going to be a good song, but I'm not expecting it to get released. If it gets released, buzzing, nice one. And if it doesn't, then I can just hold it for myself. Or
what about the idea of you mixing passion and occupation? Was that a hard transition, or are you absolutely buzzed that this is what it is now?
I don't think it was difficult at all. I think I left school and found music and did a music business course that was just running for free in the local town. It was absolutely phenomenal course, and it was the first time I'd gone into something where it was book learning, and I was like, I was lost in it. I was like, this is just in really fascinating stuff. The business side of it, and the creative side of it, I thought this is really, really interesting, and I'd never felt that before, which is kind of a shame, because I got to 18 years old and never felt that way in a classroom, which is it's what it is.
What the education system can be.
But I enjoyed classes, but it never felt like that, and to go from that, and then just made sense. I was like, well, we've already chosen this as my career path. I enjoy it even more after sort of book learning, then this just makes sense. So mixing the passion and the occupation, it just made sense.
It's just interesting, isn't it? Because you get into creativity and creating because you just love it to the core. You hear that sound come out for the first time, you're humming along, and you get that buzz. There's sometimes you find with artists, and I've felt myself, is when I've had to start to find the gigs, get emails in, write because you feel I've got to write because I'm a writer, and force it a little bit because it is a job. There's definitely been times where in my psyche, in my heart, I thought, oh, I remember when I just enjoyed this as a passion project.
Yeah.
Just as what it was. I picked it up when I needed to. I put it down when I wanted to, and it felt good in that. Have you ever touched on that feeling before?
Potentially, yeah. Actually, I think so. With some gigs, it gets to the point where like it's 24 years old at the time before COVID, and then it's the weekend and your friends are all off work, and
I get you.
and they're all getting they're all linking up to have a do, and you're like, well, cool, I can get there at like 1:30 in the morning if that's cool. And they were like, yeah, cool, let's do it. But you've missed out on the whole thing, and the gig you wanted to do probably wasn't the best. And
you get there in a strange vibe. They're all wankered, had this certain, you should have been there. Oh yeah, I don't get the joke now.
Yeah, it is. So, but that fades, and all it takes is, just an amazing gig, or. But at the end of the day, that's also, I'm very grateful that I'm getting paid for this, and I can make sure that the bills are paid. And
no, completely, man.
So okay, and then I could just work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And have the rest of the time off and see my friends on a weekday or whatever. So just compromising and working with it.
And everything's got a byproduct, hasn't it? Because say you went down the other path where it's just you didn't pursue this, and you were out with your mates. The grass is always greener sort of feeling, isn't it? So you're out with them, and then you're thinking, oh man,
should be doing music.
If only I could have just done that gig, and I was paid to do what I love, because ultimately we need money to survive in this society.
Exactly, yeah.
And to then have to compromise and do something you don't like at all, which I've done jobs in the past that I despised, hated my existence because of it. So I'd definitely go on the path of pick your passion, let that become your occupation, and then you don't really have to work, sort of.
That's it, yeah. And most of the time, going to like a function gig or something, it is like, well, this is crazy that I go and sing songs, and then I come home and that's my job. And then I go, so it's like everything's fun.
Yeah.
Like everything, and it's just so cool to have a fun job, and then you finish that fun job and you jump in the car, you chuck a podcast on, that's fun, and you go home and you see a cat, that's fun. You have some really nice food your girlfriend's made, that's fun. You go to the pub, that's fun. Like, it's just, there's no reason that everything you do should be fun, and I think that's, if what I'm doing stops being fun, that's when I stop doing it.
It's an amazing attitude. So. Yeah. Have you ever seen the film yet, Soul? Have you watched that yet?
Is that the thing on Disney?
Disney one.
No, it got released on Christmas Day, did it?
I believe so.
Yeah, we were going to watch it, but we'd just forgotten. So
I'll tell you what, man, that's your homework tonight.
Is it? See, fun homework.
What you just described there is quite a touching message in Soul, but I'm not going to ruin it now.
Okay, no, I'll watch it.
I'm going to let you go do it.
We've got Disney+,
and then we'll get you back to do a podcast all about Soul. Yeah. And what do you take from the message? Disney, man, look at me, I'm covered in it all over.
Oh, bro.
Coco, I've got Blue the Bear up here.
Oh, wow.
It's touched my soul,
nice, man. Wicked.
So, hey, pun, soul, nice. So, brother, I know I've got to play Dad a little bit today.
Yeah.
But I do want to hear about where you're going with this journey. Fingers crossed, COVID-free world. What's coming up from you? I want to know, man.
Lots more music releasing, lots more music.
I should have guessed it.
Yeah, lots more gigs. I think just lots more of everything. I think before COVID, I was just sort of just treading water and just being okay with doing what I'm doing, and having this, this year-long break. At the age I've had it, it's been a huge refresher, and I'm just hungry for more.
Pulled that bow back for you now, hasn't it? You've let go of an arrow, then you started creeping up, and you're ready to go again.
100%, yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm really focusing over the next 5 years and just making sure that every step I make's the right step and having fun.
Do you think that... I love it, man. I'm going to give you a biggest cuddle if I was allowed. You think you'd like to spin some more plates with it? Because obviously you've been in music for such a long time, doing the gig thing, creating, making. Are there any other avenues within it that you thought, oh, quite like that? Because I've got into filmmaking now, doing my own music videos and stuff. And that took me down an avenue that I thought, oh, wow, what a cool door. And then you look at animation and different styles of stuff. Have you had that thought?
Similar ones. They're just business-wise, really. I think I'd be really interested in starting or growing our business.
What is it again?
Whether it be in anything really, whether it be in music or anything like that, I'm not really too fussed. But I really like that the initial stage of a business, of just marketing it and pushing it out to everyone, and I find that very, very interesting, and it's something that I just keeping my eye on.
because I love constantly moving and being about and creating stuff. So business is a great attitude to go down, isn't it? Just how you drive, whatever it is, push this business, and it does keep you busy.
And also, like, you can do it anywhere. Like, if as long as you got a laptop and Wi-Fi connection, you could be anywhere in the world running your business.
Dude, the new world.
Exactly, and I find that really, really cool. And yeah,
what about podcasting?
You know what? I thought about starting one with my friend.
Seriously?
Yeah, but not a music one.
Okay.
A football sort of podcast.
Oh, dude, we didn't even. Let's jump a bit there. So, are you a footballer?
I love playing football.
Yeah?
I absolutely love it. Yeah, really enjoy it. I've only just started watching football again in the past 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I sort of stopped watching it at the start of high school, and then left school after sixth form and just sort of went into music and just never really watched football. I went to the pub and watched a Liverpool game, and I didn't know any of the names. And I was like, this is horrible. I was like, this is going to take me a couple of years to do, but I'm getting back into this because I love watching football, I love playing football. I just really enjoy it.
That is my best escapism. Sport in general, but football on the Saturday with the Sunday with the lads. You're not thinking of anything other.
That's literally it. It's the best escape.
On a common interest of just playing football. So you talk about the games on the weekend, who's playing, who's played, but then you actually play.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. I say this too much, but I've ruptured my ACL and MCL in the same tackle. I was playing at a decent-ish level, but it was on a bloody Sunday game. You ruin your whole sporting career from a daft game on Sunday with a few of your mates. I was a bit gutted.
I bet, man. That's
Not that I'm that guy that, oh man, if I hadn't had that, I would have made it. But still, I did compete at levels of boxing, football, I tried MMA, all different styles. I just love it. And Corona times, I can't have my operation still, and I'm just desperate for it, honestly.
I bet.
Dude, that was pain.
Yeah.
That was painful. And it was a cup game. So all my mates were just shouting, Mikey, get up, we need you on. Suddenly cup game.
My legs fucked.
And then they made me go and stand and be lino because it's Sunday League.
No
and I was
way.
running up and down the line, it just kept giving way.
But, I mean, if you could run up and down the line, you could have played the game. Why do they think they could just give you the lino and be like...
Yeah, oh dude, that was bad. I let it heal for a little bit. I think it was partially torn, but I used to play in the week as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday twice.
Flipping heck, that's more than pros play.
No, it was I just loved it so much, man. So I found a good 5-a-side leagues. I'd try and stay behind if somebody else wanted a player. I was desperate to just keep going.
I'm the exact same.
And I remember because it was JJB, and we had a decent team at JJB. We were in the top division, and it was like team 1 versus team 2. And it was one of them raring matches where everyone's just flying in trying to kill each other. And I can't back out of tackles, even though I know my knee wasn't probably ready for it or holding up. So I'd give it 6 months of rest, running around again, wasn't giving way, cool. And then that was another cracking, smashing into someone. It just went ping. Oh, I felt that big.
I bet.
But I'm so desperate to play again, honestly.
Me too.
It's even now when I kick a ball and it gives way, it reminds me, and I think, oh man, why did it have to do that?
Yeah.
Do you have a team then? Do you follow?
Yeah, I support Liverpool. My initials are LFC, so I can't not.
Well, I'm a Leicester boy, mate.
Yeah.
I go into Leicester Football Club to do the poetry sessions.
Oh, wicked.
Because I think Leicester pioneered working in the communities, getting football clubs to do so. And one of my old football mates is a coach at Leicester.
Oh, wicked.
So he got me down to do some workshops, and there's Leicester bringing in all the different schools into King Power, and I'm up there, and one time I remember I'm performing, doing my thing, and they'd actually got special guests, the footballers, to come in.
Oh, wicked.
And all the kids just turn around while I'm halfway through a poem and it's Vardy's coming in or whatever, and I just go, oh lads, you've ruined the old rhythmical boys here now. But it was nice because the footballers come in and started reading poetry out as well.
Oh, cool.
But that was beautiful.
I bet. Yeah.
And because I'm just a football supporter. I love football, whoever's on really.
Yeah.
But because they've looked after me and given me nice support and got me in, when I see them win, it makes my heart throb.
I bet, yeah.
Especially when they beat Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, that's stinker. I don't want to talk about that.
Tell you what, Maddison though, what a player he's come to be.
Yeah, he's quality, isn't he? He's really good.
Very talented lad.
Really good.
I'm sorry, I've caught you on the Liverpool thing.
No, it's fine.
And what about playing for you then? Were you at a other level or?
No, I've never played for a team.
Never
and
played
I hold
for a
a grudge.
team?
Yeah, never, ever.
Because you hold a grudge, don't you, for not playing even primary?
Yeah, I'll never get over that.
Why didn't you get into the primary team?
Honestly, don't know. I wasn't bad at all.
Really?
I wasn't the best. I wasn't, top goal scorer, but I wasn't bad at all. And I remember my friends asking why I wasn't in the team. I was like, I honestly don't know. My twin brother was the goalkeeper.
Does your twin brother do music?
He plays guitar, yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
So are you very similar people?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Very similar. Yeah.
Quite close.
Very close.
Good friends.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So you're both footballers as well in heart.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I can't remember who he supports. I say that we're very close. Don't know what team he supports.
If you don't know the football team they support, you don't know them at all.
He used to support Man U when we were growing up, but I think he just doesn't care who's playing. He watches a lot of Liverpool because we do.
It's always on.
Yeah. So, he played for the primary school team. He was in net.
Nice.
Very good goalkeeper, especially for his age. And I wouldn't mind not playing for the team. I could almost understand if he's like, well, there's probably stronger people on the wing. But I think at that age I was both footed as well.
Yeah. Nice.
So could have just chucked me in left back or something.
Yeah.
And my brother Adam, he's a year older than me. He had to stick around at school because my mum was picking up my eldest brother from high school, so he had to stay at the primary school, and so he was like, right, I just might as well do the football tries as well. He really doesn't like football. He's not into it at all, not bothered about it. And he made the team immediately, put him in defence, and I remember just thinking, what has this teacher got against me?
Yeah.
My brother doesn't even want to be there, and he's playing a game. I went to every game as well. Obviously, my twin brother was there, but I went to every game.
It's funny when teachers just want to win. They don't really care about giving these children experience.
I could have helped. He could have shut me in defence. I'd have been fine. Honestly, I held a very big grudge, and I remember the teacher, remember the name.
Let's not kill him off.
No, I'm not gonna. No.
Dude, so do you not think it's written in your stars though to maybe play one day and try a team?
I'd love to play for a team.
You're only 26, mate.
Yeah.
That's nothing really.
I'd love to play for a team. I really would. I play before lockdown happened again. Play every Wednesday with my friends in Lincoln.
So you all just built like a league for yourself sort of thing?
It was actually it's one guy I know. He's my friend Zach, and it's all his workmates, so I don't actually know any of them.
I love that about football though. You know, you meet people on the music path or whatever path, and we're quite either deep thinkers and we talk in a certain way, but sometimes when I turn up to a different football team who've just asked me to go on that day, I've never met any of them before, they're just like, you're right mate, and then it's kick-off.
That's it,
and you're all just connected on this common I really enjoy that about football.
Me too, I absolutely love it. It's just so fun, and I'm the same when you're saying when we finish playing, everyone's kind of okay to go home. I'm like, I wish we could have it for another 2 or 3 hours. I could have played I could play all day. I don't care.
Oh man, yeah. That's another good escape for me.
Oh, I love it. It's like watching football and playing football is probably the best thing to escape from anything for me. I think I watched the Southampton game yesterday, and I got a joke with my girlfriend that she supports Southampton. So over the past couple of years, she said she wanted to support a team that weren't going to get relegated but aren't going to win anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, Southampton.
Yeah, you pick your team.
And I was like, well,
Perfect
Southampton.
Pick.
Yeah, and then so over the past 2 or 3 years, it's sort of become a thing where I really like Southampton as a club.
Nice.
So watch their games and watch Liverpool games all the time. So
I like how that's blossomed.
Yeah, really cool.
If you start this podcast up, then what do you think you get with your mate on football? What directions are you going to talk about playing and watching? Or
well, because I'm fairly new to it, I've only been watching and enjoying football for the past 4 or 5 years, apart from 4 or 5 years when I'm in primary school. He's been following it since day one, and he's not stopped following it.
Tell you every player, every date they join the club.
Exactly, and he's got a good eye for it as well. He's, you can see a good player on the ball, but he spots the players off the ball that are really good, and he, I think he used to film the under 18s, so he saw Curtis Jones and Trent Alexander-Arnold come through, and he was wow. He's going to be man, and Yeah, I'd love to start a podcast with him of like how to how to be a football fan basically, and
to be a football fan.
Him teaching me what I should do, and obviously I'm an idiot with some of these things. Like I'm okay with the English names, like in Premier League and Championship maybe, but when it gets to like European football, I have no idea. We've just signed that Kabak, and and is it Ben Davis as well from Championship? Mm-hmm. I don't know those guys. And everyone's like, "Oh, we've got Kabak." I'm like, "Who is he?"
I really enjoy that though, because there is sometimes an elitism in football fans, and you don't know this guy, or you don't know this, but it seems to be broadening. It's more about inclusivity and bringing all people together over this beautiful thing of football.
That's it.
There is somewhat ugly sides to it. What do you think to technology in now? VAR. Have you had any thoughts on where you stand with VAR in sport?
It's frustrating, very frustrating, because offside by millimetre, no goal. Onside by millimetre, it's way too far. I think if the lines are touching for offside, give the goal. Come on, how can you be that precise?
I just want to allow human error back into the sport
a little bit. I think for penalty decisions, for big decisions, I think
and
we need another look.
Because I would have wanted it for England, but when the ball crossed the line in the World Cup, but was it Lampard?
I think so,
by a ridiculous amount. But my dad was a semi-pro footballer. All he knew was football and farming. That's his existence. But a lot of pros that went pro talk about my dad still on. I used to. Kenny Burns was somebody that mentioned him in an interview and stuff. He played for Forest. My left back mate Dave, he was the one who I thought was going to make it. It's lovely stories like that, and I speak of my dad in a great attitude when it comes to football, because even everyone around here was like, your dad was such a good footballer. I love that feeling.
Wicked.
But I learn a lot of my knowledge of how I see football from him, because I've got respect for him. And he does hate this new game. He's got that real old school attitude of it's a brand new game now, and he still forces himself to watch it. He's gone down the line of supporting Arsenal because my sister's partner's a big Arsenal fan, and it's just nice when we're all together laughing, singing, "Go on Arsenal." So he's gone down there, but literally as soon as there's a bad VAR decision or something daft, he turns the whole thing off. He just won't watch it.
It is frustrating, especially when it's like minute. I'm like, for those decisions, please just let the ref make this. He's there in front of it. Let him make the call. But when it's like a dangerous challenge in the box, or we need to make sure it's actually in or outside the box.
So it's just being balanced with this technology, not having it as all resorts, but it's slowed down the game. It's definitely changed it. When you're waiting 3 to 4 minutes, just been a goal, now no goal. I suppose it feels a little bit more Americanized, if that makes sense.
Like NFL.
It's got the NFL vibe to it, and I did like football's grouty grogginess, realness, and just rawness, I suppose. But I think you just got to change with the times, though.
100%. And the game is played completely different. Like if you watch highlights from 20 years ago, it's you got your 4 at the back, you got 4 there, and you got 2 at the front, and then you pass and shoot. Whereas now it's like you got your wing backs that pretty much go higher than the strikers, whipping balls across. You got 2 and the game is completely different, and and it probably is. It's going to be frustrating for the next few years, but it does bring an element of hope for the VAR when your team may get a penalty. Like, come on.
Somewhat, it feels too perfect. Somewhat now. Football.
I know what you mean.
How pretty they play and tactical. It's like a chess game sometimes.
I quite like that though.
I
like the uniform.
And that's the thing of the nuance. You've got to see it for a new art form now. If you're looking at it through the old Arsenal Vieira days against Man United, you're not going to get that really anymore with Scholesy and so on.
No.
Because I remember I've been watching old school 2006, maybe even 2000 games, and on YouTube you see 20-minute highlights. it was bloody good. It was so exciting, the way they ran with the ball. Thierry Henry plays with it, but it just seemed a bit chaotic, I think. And now sometimes I've seen games and they've been not contrived, I don't want to say, but just very pretty football and tactical. It's just a different game, and you have to see it on that premise.
Completely, and I think it's as with any sport, everyone's getting better than the generation before.
That's it.
It has to be this pretty, because you can't take the ball from your box and run to their box and have a shot like you could do years ago, because everyone's so good.
That's it.
So you've got to match. I watch a lot of BMX stuff. I used to BMX when I was younger, and at the time we were trying to just do the simple bar spin or a tail whip or something. Whereas you now got these like 15-year-old kids doing double backflip tail whip and like doing all these nuts tricks that people had never done until like 5 years ago, and there's kids doing it now. So what's the next generation of that sport going to look like? So it's the same with football.
I mean, you do still have your anomalies of players that are particularly good, but back when you've got your Giggses and stuff as well running through, stampeding, that they stood out so much because they would just take on 6 players, do a 1-2 and then crack it in the top corner. And sometimes that exists, but everybody's of an elite level now. The endurance that can last for 90 minutes without failure, not cramping up. Do you remember back in the day when they're lying on the floor and they're lifting their toes back for him? Come on, we've got 10 minutes left.
Fitness is insane now.
They're all archetypes of the perfect athlete. And now, because there's 22 players on a pitch like that, it's had to change. It's one wrong step and that's where you fail, kind of thing. Whereas before it was just flying everywhere.
That's it. When you're in the back of the day, when you've got Man United's team and Arsenal's unbeatables or whatever they're called.
That is right, I think.
You've got all those players that are amazing, but then the normal teams have got their 5 really good ones, and now everyone's just too good. It's interesting. I love watching it.
I've kind of gone back to watching YouTube teams now, or different teams growing, because they're more of that. You can see a standout player, maybe even below champion, so League One, but where you can watch games on YouTube or see people progressing. I enjoy that because it feels like your Saturday League style stuff.
Have you seen #United, Spencer Owen's team?
Yes.
Follow a lot of their stuff on
Do
YouTube.
you?
I like to watch some of their games, and they've got a great following, and the fact that how fast they're climbing through the leagues.
I just wonder if it's the new direction.
Potentially, but it's going to take a lot of years to get to.
A long time, but
they're doing all right.
Well, how YouTubers are, because they're coming into sport in general now, aren't they? Look at boxing.
My
favourite sport ever, but it was dying a death in some ways, and it's again this: is it good? Is it bad? It's just a thing that's happening. YouTubers are going to come through. It's a platform now that's being truly embellished and discovered.
Well, anything they do, because they're so flipping popular, and have the funds to rent out a stadium or do, they're gonna do it very, very well. Whether it's a rubbish scrap or a 11-a-side dreadful 9-0 game or something. They're still doing it, and they're still doing it that size because they can. I mean, if I had the funds and the people to do it, you just would, wouldn't you? You'd be like, what? Go play at Wembley for the day, all right?
I do want to see Logan Paul, because he's fighting his brother, isn't it? Ben. He's fighting Ben Askren in a boxing fight.
Jake Paul,
Jake Paul's fighting Ben Askren. So Ben was in MMA for a while and more of a wrestler. So that's why that's quite an interesting fight, because Ben's not known to be a striker as such. So I think it's going to be close, actually.
That's the thing, that this Jake Paul fella, he's not fighting anyone that's a fighter, though. He's fighting a wrestler, basically. Without disrespecting this guy's name.
An MMA fighter, but not known for striking.
That's right.
And you've got to have all parts of your arsenal for that.
I'd rather see him be a boxer, fight a boxer.
So I think that's what they're lining up to. If he wins that fight, which I think he really could win that fight.
I think he probably will, yeah.
I'm not going to rule out Ben, because is a top athlete, so somebody who is of elite is probably going to know how to defend themselves, how to look after themselves and manage. Unlike when he fought that basketball player, that was a horrible fight, dude. He should not have been in that ring.
No.
And that's what I don't really want to see, because people can get injured in this sport and then it gets demonised because they've done daft stuff with it. But when he wins eventually, if he wins, I think that's what they're leading up to, of having him against an actual boxer then. And that's going to be different territory.
I just feel like the way he's going about it is, okay, this guy's enemy, but all the previous fighters he's had it's like me having a one-on-one football match with a golfer. Like, you're not matching it at all, or me playing a gig to the zoo. Like,
I know what you mean.
It doesn't really match up.
There was a MMA I watch a lot of, and in China, or it was Japan, they used to have these weird match-up fights. I think it was Fighting the Monsters, they called it, or something daft. And they put a giant, huge Japanese cage fighter against a smaller boxer guy, and throughout history, we've wanted to see weird things and what would happen. Yeah. And it seems to just be coming in what's our culture now, and we're seeing strange anomalies and fights sprout out. And I will somewhat pay to see most of them. I was gagging to see what happened with the McGregor versus Mayweather. Yeah. What happened was inevitably what was always going to happen. Yeah. This made total sense when I watched it. I went, oh, that thing that I thought might happen definitely happened.
Yeah, but it's that what if though. Like,
the what ifs, yeah.
The UK loves an underdog, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. So I'm quite excited to see what emerges and what comes through. Because, I do love boxing. And because I've done boxing at an amateur level, I know how hard it is to get in the ring. I know that even 3 2-minute rounds absolutely cripple you. You got to go at a proper rate. I've done all the sparring, so having that attitude towards it and being at a low level, knowing what it takes to get to an elite level, you don't like to see it trivialised so much because you want respect to the sport. But also, it's bringing loads of eyes into the sport and loads of people are coming to watch it. Yeah. So I think that's a brilliant thing that the YouTube community have started to do and bring more people across. Maybe when Jake eventually meets his match, will be a proper boxer that has boxing endurance and boxing mind and knows how to knacker him out straight away. Yeah. Then people will go, oh, I've got this mad respect for boxing now. I've got this huge love for it again, and it's just brought a bigger audience to it.
100%.
Yeah. Sorry, you can tell my tangent on that, can't you?
No.
I was just loving it.
Mate, no, I absolutely love it. I watch a lot of YouTube as well, especially before lockdown.
I've got another piece of homework for you. Can you remember your first piece?
Yeah, Soul.
Soul. Right, next one is 42.
42.
It's a YouTube channel I've just discovered. I bought a treadmill.
Oh, wicked.
I need to get rid of
this
timber. So walking a lot, to be honest. Yeah. But just I put it on a full incline.
That's good for you, that, yeah.
And then I did 2 hours the other day. Wow. Because I put the rugby game on and just went. But as the rugby game was on, I was getting a bit tireless, so I thought, right, I'm going to go on YouTube channels and start looking if there's anything interesting. And this guy just looks at really weird facts and interesting stories that have happened throughout history, but gives them out in the best kind of way. So there's imagery, movement. The guy started off very annoying. He's got, I don't want to say nerd in a derogatory way, but he's got a very nerdy voice. Yeah. Hello, 42 here. Yeah. That was perfect. That's how he sounds. And then I thought, I'm going to give it time now. Listen to what he says. Yeah. 1 episode in.
Oh, man.
Just incredible. So, homework 2.
Yeah, wicked. 42. Soul and 42.
This one episode was on these 6 guys lived in Tonga, and they were in a horrible school. They were only 16, and they were being beaten. It was a very religious school.
Oh, wow.
So, I think it was Tonga, but it was an island in essence. And they wanted to get to the next local island, which was 450 miles over water to get to there. Anyway, they thought it was worth risking it, so they stole a boat, took this boat off, and then suddenly this big storm happened at night, and they got taken 600 miles the wrong direction to this tiny little island that I think it was
slaves
were held on at one time. It was an inhabited island.
Right.
So they got dragged all the way out there, and they had to find this way of living. But their story is so beautiful. It's not one of them mean, horrible, they all turned on each other like a Lord of the Flies story. It was this, they'd all come together, lived on this inhabited island, and turned it into a thriving, beautiful island. Just 6 lads.
That's nuts.
They got picked up. This is all a true story. It happened in 1960.
Oh, wow.
And they got picked up by this boat that came off of the shore from Australia, an Australian boat, and he was looking through this island, and he saw on the faces of the rocks there was burnt marks on all the rocks. So he thought, how fires don't just start on their own accord in these sort of climates. What's this?
Yeah.
Started approaching up to it, and one of the lads started running at him, and he couldn't believe it, because he knows this island's been inhabited for hundreds of years. And it was such a beautiful story. It's not been made into a film yet, but it's been. Have you watched The Revenant?
Yeah.
It's been picked up by the director of The Revenant, and they're turning it into a Hollywood blockbuster.
That'd be
It's coming
cool.
out next year, I think. But dude, I'll send you that episode.
Yeah,
across.
please
It's
do.
So good.
Oh, I bet. I love stuff like that.
I've
True
been
stories.
caught in a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's it. Next couple of weeks are done.
Nah, brother, I'm going to let you off. I know I've still got to play Dad. And we said we were going about 30 minutes ago. Thank you. So where can people find all your stuff? Where can people see what you're doing?
All on socials, just Lewis Canner. Not
Lewis
Capaldi,
Canner.
not
No,
Loyal Canner.
Loyal Canner. Or that guy from One Day.
Yeah.
Lewis Canner.
Lewis.
Lewis Canner.
That's
and that's
right.
on Spotify,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Everywhere, yeah.
They can ping you a message and get in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get in touch.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having
brother.
me, man. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. Guys, you've been a part of the Old Farm Bus, Back of the Bus Sessions podcast. Thank you for being here. Remember what we say, just be nice to one another. Peace and love. See you soon.